If you're a fan of Back to the Future, stick around because you're about to learn 10 amazing behind-the-scenes facts about Back to the Future Part 3, such as how Michael J. Fox was almost hanged for reals while filming. In the Back to the Future series, Marty routinely comes up with names to disguise his true identity, which in Part 3 is Clint Eastwood. If you ever wondered, did Clint Eastwood know they were going to do this? The answer is yes, because Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale asked Eastwood beforehand if they could use his name throughout the movie. Another thing you may have wondered is if the actors did any of their own stunts, and the answer to that is also yes. All the actors spent many hours training to ride horses. Tom Wilson had to go one step further though, by learning to lasso Michael J. Fox while riding his horse. And Wilson also spent many hours training with a world champion quick draw expert to become the fastest gun in the West. Former US President Ronald Reagan was a big fan of the Back to the Future series, mainly because of the joke Doc made about him in the first movie. So the filmmakers thought it would be fun to have the former president make a cameo as Hill Valley's mayor in Part 3, and Reagan almost said yes, but he eventually passed. If you're an American and were born after the 1990s, Marty's joke about learning to shoot at 7-Eleven may have gone over your head. However, the joke wouldn't have made much sense to foreign audiences either. So instead of having Marty say 7-Eleven, all the movie's foreign audio tracks have him saying he learned to shoot at Disneyland instead. There's a dark moment that was taken out of the final cut of the movie, which is a scene when Marshall Strickland is shot in the back and killed by Buford before his showdown with Marty. The scene was removed because the filmmakers thought showing Strickland's murder in front of his son would have been too dark for a family film, and then as a result, audiences would want Marty to kill Tannen for what he did. So now you know why a new deputy inexplicably shows up at the end to arrest Tannen and his gang. And when the charge of robbing the Pine City stage is read, the camera cuts away to Marty and Emmett because the line about their arrest for murder had to be dubbed over. If you thought Michael J. Fox's acting while being hanged looked convincing, it's because he wasn't acting. For the first couple of takes, he reportedly was standing on a box, but it didn't look convincing enough, so he ditched the box and would sneak his hand between the noose and his neck to support his weight. But after 7 takes, he was fatigued, so he ended up losing consciousness for nearly a minute before everyone realized he wasn't acting and they stopped rolling the cameras. The climactic train sequence was very complicated to pull off. The shots of Marty in the car without seeing the train in the background were filmed separately with the car pushing the DeLorean down the tracks. However, when Michael J. Fox and the DeLorean were seen together, they were actually traveling in reverse because the insurance company had concerns that the train would derail the DeLorean in forward motion. For the end of the sequence, a 1/4 scale train miniature was built to film the shot of the train falling off the tracks, and its fall was filmed from 6 different camera angles, but in the end they only used one angle because it created more tension. The time machine train at the end of the movie was a full-scale prop, and a little known fact about it is that there was a Jeep inside to drive the train on the tracks. A problem the filmmakers had was how to maintain its secrecy from the public while it was being built. To solve the issue, the art department and effects team built a garage around it to keep the train under wraps. The Back to the Future movies are full of setups and payoffs because of how much all 3 films are connected. For example, Doc's bandana in Part 3 is made out of the fabric from the shirt we see him wearing in Part 2. Another setup and payoff you might not have noticed is while Marty and Emmett are talking in front of the train station map, the time on the clock in the background is the exact time lightning will strike the clock tower on November 12, 1955. I could do an entire video about setups and payoffs from these movies, so let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. In the meantime, click one of the videos you see on the screen or down in the descriptions so you can keep learning more fun facts about your favorite films.